So this is part 2 to the video for 222. I left off saying this is the Page of Swords is to reveal a person's true intent or personality. Talking, I think, specifically about career or money opportunities, job-wise. And the thing that I would warn about that is, like, I know specifically for myself, I know there's a lot of behind the scenes. Like, I know there's stuff going on, and it's just, like, picking up on those, like, cues. It's the, like, the really having to think about things, like with the King of Swords, where it says that you have to make sure that you're doing that, like, thinking, I think is what it says. Hold on. Need accurate thinking. So make sure that you're tapping into that intuition. Another number that I will, like, drop down is 272. That was my flight number on the way back home, and it basically talks about trusting your intuition. So if you're trusting that somebody cannot be trusted, or you're trusting that a situation can't be trusted, whatever it may be, make sure you're listening to that. Okay, hold on, let me pause this. Okay, so for the Six of Cups, we have the Yamaya. And this says, an old flame may re-enter your life. Gathering could put you in contact with people from your past. Pleasant memories pave the path for a better future. There you go. If you haven't watched my first video, that's pretty much what I said in my first video. It says this card is helpful in contacting old friends or attracting new ones. So definitely, like, hanging with my brother's old friends, but being there with the bride side of the family, I made new friends, and it was great to, like, connect with some new people, and really, like, I'm not usually somebody who, like, gets out of my comfort zone, but that was, like, some of the most fun that I've had. Like, definitely one for the books. For the Six of Swords, we have the Japanese Ho-Ho. Also, I just crossed through 222 on the timestamp. It says, you will travel across water or move from one place to another. There could be visits from distant friends or family. Any move you make will be positive. Use this card while making major choices that will change your life. I think that when it's talking about the major changes in your life, reminiscing with old friends and stuff like that, I think that this part, because it's like a divine change that's to come, this is going to come very naturally. It's like, when I'm talking about, like, the things in the career going on, like, this is things that, like, is, like, out of your control. But for example, I'm always, like, on my phone for my job. I'm always answering my calls for my job, and I specifically told them when I went on this trip that I wasn't going to be answering their phone calls very often because I was going to be busy the entire time. I was getting ready with the bride and the bridesmaids and stuff like that in the beginning of the morning, and I had my phone away because I was doing my mom's hair. And while I was there, they called me like 6 times for something that they could have figured out themselves. But I think that in that time, something shifted with my work status or something like that. I don't know. Kind of just going with my intuition on this and staying away as much as I can, but something to think about. For the King of Swords, we have the Vampire. It says, if this card denotes a person, he will be a professional with a cold heart but a clear mind. If this card represents a situation, you will need swift, accurate thinking and eloquent words. You may be standing on the edge of a long-awaited spiritual breakthrough. Use when you need a card to represent a stern man of authority. If trying to break through opposition with others, surround this card with positive cards that describe your goal. So I think that this is, when you're going through this change, I would say specifically towards a career or money opportunity. Think very clearly about how you're going to do this, because there could be people at play, and this is just like what I'm thinking straight off the top of my head, intuition, third eye, whatever you want to call it. A lot of them are going to be thinking like straight through with emotion, and it's like more of like impulsive thoughts. In this time, it's best that you kind of just sit back and listen and wait to respond until you know for sure what it is you want to say. Don't say things out of impulse or out of your own emotions. Make sure you're thinking all of this through before you do it. But also, I would say something that would be heavily noted is make sure that you're standing up for yourself, that you're standing up for what it is you want and what it is you deserve. Because if you're having to deal with people that like belittle you and disrespect you all the time, there is a eloquent way that you can basically tell somebody to fuck off without doing it like irrationally and being like with the emotion. Because I think in this situation, if it's like specifically towards careers, they're gonna be like relying on you responding out of emotion, because maybe that's how you've reacted previously. Or you could be dealing with like a lot of energy vampires where they like feed off of your energy and they feed off of your anger and sadness and frustration. This specifically, I think, because it's a new chapter, I think it's hit a new level for yourself as well, that you just realize that this doesn't serve you and it's not worth your time. So keeping your like words and sentences like short and to the point is definitely going to be your saving grace in this. Okay, so for this one specifically, I am going to read the whole story because this was one that I did not know about at all. And I think it's very important in how they describe this one. So if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I apologize. But it's Hyujin and Munin. It's for the Two of Wands. It says, one of the greatest Norse deities, Odin, has special skills in war and peace, ancient knowledge, and magic. He is connected with the Viking magical alphabet called the runes. To hold his powerful position, Odin had two large ravens, Hyujin and Munin, that sat on the god's shoulders and told him all the secrets of men and spirits. So make sure you're looking out for your dreams, because your dreams could be telling you what's to come. Messages, like, especially with the messages that are like harder to come in at this point in time, it could be like whatever dream it is, it could be like quite literal, like what's going on in that dream is telling you what's about to happen. So it says, let's see. You are awaiting the results from something you have started. Focus your energy and will to fulfill your desires, but be certain that the end result is what you really want. Use when you must make a choice. I would say that there could come a time where you have to make an ultimatum between what you want and what you don't want. Like to continue going through what it is that you're like miserable with and what is to come. What it is that you've been waiting for all this time, done all this work for. So make sure you're manifesting. I know in these like last couple of days for February, I've been getting a lot of messages that like this month of February is very, very important for change. So I would say that the change, like for sure, is going to start coming through at the very beginning of the month. I hope this helps, and I hope this deep dive helped even more. If you haven't watched my first video, you should probably go check that out. Have a great night.